Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cozy Corner Chronicles. I'm Julia,
And I'm Liz.
and we are back with honestly our last chapter chat for The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer because we ended up finishing the book instead of doing chapter
Yeah,
chats.
we definitely epically failed with that. Now, let me at least stand up for us
Yeah,
because the only
agreed.
reason we really finished it is because we were so annoyed with Hazel. And I think we just needed to know. We just had to know. And don't like it was a surprise that we both finished the book because we had both were like, oh, by the way, I accidentally finished the book. And she was like, oh yeah, me too. I was like, okay, great. So here we are.
Here we are. And don't get us wrong, like I think because it was also our first hockey romance, so we don't know the ropes course, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we don't know if every hockey romance ends with them being together. So I just had to know. And I am that type of person. I don't know if you're that type of person, but I am that type of person. Well, I will Google. Like if I start a series or something, I will Google if they end up together and then stop reading the whole series if they don't because I'm pissed. Like
Yeah,
I have to know.
definitely agree with you on that. And I think like the the book it wasn't not hard to put down. Like I could put it down and be like okay with
Right.
it. It's just like every single time I picked it back up, I was like, what the fuck? Like I just need to know. I have to know. Like why are you like this?
Right.
Why is
So,
it?
right. So it was the book was still kind of progressing when we last talked because obviously that was only chapter 10. There's 84 chapters in this book. So,
Yeah.
but but let's give you guys the rundown. As always, if you guys have not read the book, don't listen to this one, especially because it's going to give you all the inside details about everything. So let's start
Yeah.
off with how our 1-star review had mentioned that this was basically porn on paper. What are your thoughts after now finishing the book?
Immediately, yes.
Yes,
Um
agreed.
this was oh my god, like some parts like kind of made me like uncomfortable and like it made me do like a like I was reading cuz I was reading it on my Kindle this time or like on the Kindle app. And I was reading it and then Colin would come and be like I'm not doing anything.
Right, like
It
you feel
was
like guilty.
Yeah, it was so much. And I feel like something that took literally like 15 pages, she could have just been like, oh, yeah, this happened, and then they had sex. Like, and that would have been cool. But it was like, it was the way he groped me and stuck his hand up my shirt and then did this and did that. And I mean, we got every single detail of that every single time.
Yes, and I know this is probably usual for hockey books because that's probably why people read it because people like spice. I will say I love Anna Huang. So I've read spicy books and I mean, I think that it's on par with spicy books,
Hmm.
but like I feel like in other novels, spice is like a how do I say it? Like spice kind of adds to the plot.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like in the fake out, yes, there was spice, but was it necessary?
Yeah, I mean, this was like, like on a scale from like jalapeno to ghost pepper, this was like extreme ghost pepper. Like,
Yeah, and I feel like I agree with what people were saying was that I know we skipped and just went to the second book, but I understand now because I feel like the whole plot kind of revolved around them finally having sex because of her one night stand casual rule.
yeah. And I think so like in the beginning, she was so gun ho about I will never like Rory Miller. I will never like him and oh, but he smells so good. And then I was like, okay, so what? Do you like him? Yes or no? And then as the book progressed, it was like, oh, but he's doing this for me and he's doing that for me. And he like at one point bought her a bed, was buying her lingerie, like all this stuff. And he was like, listen, if we're gonna pretend that we're dating, I'm gonna do things as if we were dating because that only makes sense. Which I'm like in my head, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
so much sense.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, I don't want you to buy me stuff. I can't accept this. No, okay, I'm gonna sleep on the bed. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
dude, that was so funny. Like when he FaceTimed her and was like, why you look so like FaceTime me or whatever? Why you sound so smug? Like, and she's like, fine, the bed's comfy. But I will say, Stephanie Archer did a
Mhm.
fantastic job making me love Rory Miller. I think we both
Yes.
agree. Like Rory, even though he was obviously in love with her since high school that he admitted,
Mhm.
I loved him. Like
Me
he
too.
is 10 out of 10 book boyfriend.
Yeah, definitely loved him. And I think she also does a really good job at like building up his character for
Mhm.
us to see like, oh, like he is really a sweet guy. Like he really knows how to be a boyfriend. He knows how to take care of somebody and whatever. And I think what annoyed me the most was like the fact that Hazel held the high school thing against him.
Yes.
Like first of all, it was high school. Second of all, like I don't think it ever said like how old they were, but I'm like, did y'all just freshly get out of high school or like,
Yeah.
like why
And
are you pressing him about this situation that literally happened years ago? That's like I don't get it.
I know, I agree. And I think they tried to make that such a big point for why she hated him. And then
Mhm.
they did like a 2-second drive by in the book of it. And you're
Mhm.
like, okay, so like it was nothing.
Right. And it was so stupid too. She was like, "Oh, remember when you hurt Ashley?" And he was like, "Who's
Who?
Ashley?"
Yeah. And then she's like the blonde.
And he was like,
Um
"What blonde?"
okay. Like and then he ends up remembering, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I guess we can make honestly just a pros list about Rory Miller, and I can make a cons list about Hazel. And
Yeah.
like, okay, for people who like enemies to lovers, this is not an enemies to lovers. So if you guys are wanting a book by like about enemies to lovers, don't read this book. I can suggest
Yeah.
a different book to you guys, not this one.
Yeah, because I feel like also they did a really good job, or not they, Stephanie did a really good job kind of like roping McKinnon into all of it. And
Yes.
I feel like it was fun. It was a fun read because every time, like, I think Rory took it more serious than
Hmm.
Hazel. And even when that time that McKinnon and Rory were like bunking together or
Yeah.
like staying together for the thing, and he was like, "Oh, here's a picture of Hazel. I hope you don't mind that I put it up because I miss her." Like all this stuff. And then he like joined her yoga class and did all
Yeah,
this
that was
stuff.
cute.
That was really cute. And I also am really really glad that Stephanie kind of gave us like a background on Rory,
Hmm.
because I really think it explains like the person he is, and like how he wants to shape himself. He basically like does not want to be his dad.
Hmm. And I think it was cute to see his progression, like him being able to find out that scoring doesn't make him happy. Like he finds joy in seeing his teammates succeed and seeing
Mm-hmm.
his team succeed. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was really cute because the whole story
Yes.
basically is about, like, if we're now just going to put it start to finish, it's about this girl who's a physio on the hockey team and
Mm-hmm.
their star best scorer in the league on the whatever. They used to basically, she used to tutor him in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then now they're on the same team. He's always had a crush on her. I think they like reunited at some point and that's why,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a crush on her. And then of course her ex-boyfriend gets to be on the team, so she fake dates Rory. And then from there it's literally just their love story. And what do you know, lo and behold, at the end he proposes to Hazel, and
Yes.
it was so cute. Like, I have to say, Rory is such a green flag. Maybe I'm blind. People are gonna listen to this and be like, dude, what the hell? Like Rory is the reddest flag ever. But to me, he bought her a $3,000 matching set of the little dragons. It was so stinking cute.
I could cry. And then when he was drunk and got the tattoo,
Yes, I was like, oh my god, when is a guy gonna tattoo like a shark on their body
a
for me?
potato.
Oh, that too. The shark eating the potato. Anyways, but like he had a list of green flags. Like he
Mhm.
literally saw her apartment and was like, "Oh my gosh, like you need to live in better circumstances." Buys her a
Yeah.
bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when she gets hurt, injures her leg, when they're skating, he takes care of her. He teaches her
Mm-hmm.
how to skate. Like
Yep.
My heart?
pounds. And like I think also like just going back to the story, basically between Hazel and Rory, at some point it started to become real. And I
Mhm.
think that's what Hazel was scared of, was it becoming real. And don't get me wrong, I get like stereotyping the relationship in terms of, okay, I dated a hockey player once and he messed with my heart, broke it, da 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 da. But then it goes back to the whole thing where, can you categorize all hockey players into one category and say like every hockey player is going to break your heart? You obviously you see Pippa and your
Jamie,
brother-in-law.
yeah.
Yeah, they're fine. Why can't you be fine?
Exactly. And I think she was so blind to it. And I think that's what makes me mad is like her attitude towards anything that Rory was trying to give her, like even in terms of feelings, not just physical things, was always
Mhm.
so, ugh, like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
And I get it. Like
yeah.
a lot of people are like that, you know, some people are emotionally avoidant. That could describe them. That's 100% okay if you are,
Mhm.
right? But I think the way that Stephanie presents this is really frustrating because, like, clear as day, Rory likes her. There's
Yeah.
no question about it. And honestly, like clear as day, she likes him. She just doesn't want
Yes.
to admit it.
Yes, and then when she finally starts to be like, "Oh my god, I'm falling for you," and it's I think about you all the time, and da 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 da. Like, first of all, I wish Rory was like, "It's too late." Like,
Mm,
I wish he would
I
have done
know.
that as a plot twist. But like, I get it. You know, they end up together, whoop de woo, whatever. But I'm like, you literally said, "Oh, he fits in perfect with my family. My dad loves him. My mom's asking when he's coming around again." For Christmas, when you couldn't go home because of your ankle, he literally threw you the best Christmas in the whole entire world,
Literally.
brought Christmas to you, and you knew it was your favorite holiday, and you still were like, "Ah, I don't know about this one, Rory."
I know. Like honestly, that would I sold. Like had
Yeah.
someone done that for me, I would have been bawling. I would have been
So
like, yeah,
thoughtful.
I know. I would have been like, we're getting married like tonight. Let's fly to Vegas. Like fuck it.
Like everything he did, even though their relationship was quote unquote fake,
Mhm.
was so thoughtful. Like everything he did, thoughtful, thoughtful, thoughtful. Like the dragon thing, and then like us finding out later that he had a matching one. That like,
My heart.
what do I like? What do you even say to that?
Yeah, and I genuinely think the sweetest thing in the whole book was him supporting her yoga journey and like really supporting her, like opening up her studio, helping her when her mom was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
facing body dysmorphia and stuff like that and having a really hard time with self-love. I
Yep.
think he was so amazing to be her backbone for that. And I
Mm-hmm.
still feel like the only I don't want to say the only, that sounds harsh. Like, I really think that the only two things that Hazel really helped him with was, of course, when he went to see his mom at the holiday party, and then also helping him realize what made him happy by, like, kind of forcing him, you know, but really encouraging him to do those pickup games at the skating rink.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it was sweet to see Rory's progression with his mom,
Hmm.
because like at first I thought Stephanie Archer kind of dropped the mom bomb and was like, "Oh, like, but he talks to his dad because, his dad's his manager, he takes care of everything, da 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 da." And then when like all of a sudden his mom came out of nowhere, I was like,
I know.
"What?"
I wasn't expecting that too. I thought it was going to be one of those
Yes.
mom trauma, but
Yeah.
I thought it was also really cute though cuz at the end his dad, you know, and
They
her
get back
like his parents
together.
basically end up getting back together. And I thought that was so stinking cute because
Mhm.
like I guess Stephanie Archer kind of makes you dislike the dad, which I get it. He kind of wasn't the best, but his way of showing love was different like his mom had said.
Mhm.
But I kind of was rooting for him and his mom. Like I was happy that they were really together. I was happy that he was happy. I was happy that Rory got his parents back together and even more happy that Rory's dad kind of understood the
Mhm.
perspective that Rory was coming from in terms of how he
Mhm.
viewed how his dad was being kind of a bad agent dad
Mhm.
mixture.
Yeah, and I really liked that. I wish I wish we would have saw a little bit more progression in
Yeah.
Rory's dad. But I mean, I get he wasn't like the main character of the story, so how she did it was completely fine. But yes, loved the relationship between the mom, and I loved how Rory also tied it back to like, you remind me of my mom. And then it
Yeah.
just brought back like, I miss her and like all this stuff. Then all of a sudden she shows up and then they get together and like they do all these things. Very happy ending all around. Like
Yes.
everybody had a happy ending. Well, except McKinnon, but
But he got what he deserved. So McKinnon gets kicked off the team because he tries to, when he's drunk, he tries to, or he kisses Hazel. And
yes.
then she's like,
Oh,
whoa, 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 you know? And so McKinnon gets kicked off. And then I loved his reaction was, your girlfriend got me kicked off the team. You mean your actions got you kicked off the team?
oh, you mean actions have consequences?
Yeah, weird.
Oh, never heard of that one.
Me
Yeah.
either. Didn't learn that in kindergarten.
Yeah, that really threw me for a loop because then when all the rumors of him getting traded and like
Yep.
having to move, and then like he was like, but we just got your yoga studio and like all this stuff. Mind you, my whole thing reading with the yoga studio and stuff, low key, I thought he was gonna surprise her by buying the yoga studio. I can't
Me
even
too.
lie.
Okay. I'm so glad that me and you had that same thought because I literally thought that too. I was like, oh, okay, great. He's going to buy. And then she ends up buying it, which, I mean, more power to her.
Go her.
Woo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that threw me for a loop. And then when he pulled them both in, the what's his name? The one he looks up to. The
Oh, the ward, like his captain?
Ward, yeah.
Yeah.
When Ward was like, you're not going anywhere, da 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 da, and he was like, how could I do that to a fan?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cute because Hazel got him a signed jersey, Ward signed jersey, and he signed it and like did all the stuff, and he was like, oh, what's not hanging up yet? I thought it was so cute. Love their
I know.
relationship.
I agree. I thought, and I think Ward's purpose was definitely to be more of a dad figure to Rory than
Mm-hmm.
his own dad. But I would say, like, overall, I enjoyed the book. Like, yes, it was smutty. Yes, some of the sex scenes like didn't necessarily like fit the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I mean, I've read other spicy books and it seems on par with other spicy books.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, I mean, I would read it, but I think we had discussed this. At the end, you obviously get hints throughout the book as one does
Yes.
about like Darcy and Owen, or Hayden, I
Mhm.
guess Owen has his last name, but Hayden, and how they are basically, Hayden is another team member and Darcy is his college best friend, but they're in a friend group of three. So it's Kit, Hayden, and Darcy.
Mhm.
And who's about to get engaged or who's engaged? Kit and Darcy. So obviously Hayden and Darcy have always had a thing for each other. Like that's what it makes it
But
seem
like yeah,
like.
like an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden Darcy's like, she calls Hayden and she's like, "Hey, I'm crying,
Oh my
boohoo,
God.
sad, sad, sad." Called off the engagement, and he was like, "What?" On the way.
Exactly. So, I mean, and Stephanie Archer tells you that book 3 in that series is going to be about
Yes.
Hayden and Darcy. And I think we had said it, like, we are actually more excited for their story than we are for this book.
Yeah.
So,
And
I am really excited to see when that book comes out because I would love to read about Hayden and Darcy.
me too. It's called The Wrong Mr. Right.
Oh, is
Yeah.
there a
And
release
so
date?
no, I don't see anything yet about a release date.
Okay.
But this makes me kind of want to read the first one because after reading some of the online reviews or whatever, they said that this book was not her best book. And
Mm,
they said that the first one was amazing. So much
really?
amazing. Yeah, so amazing that people were waiting for the fake out to release.
I think I
So
remember you saying that.
it kind of makes me curious to read the first book, and I might just just
You tell me.
because.
You
Yeah.
tell me how it is because I feel like if I go backwards and then if I like read the next book with Darcy and Hayden, I'm gonna be disappointed if that like Darcy and Hayden book doesn't
Um
live up to it. But
mhm.
you read the first book. I'm definitely gonna read the third book because
Okay.
I really want to see how their love story is. But
Yes.
overall, I mean I would still recommend it. Maybe I don't know. I would still recommend it. Like I thought it was a funny read. It made
Mhm.
me LOL, like literally laugh out loud sometimes. Um it was entertaining. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't I have to binge this book right now.
Mhm.
It was good.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And if you like spicy books, this book is for sure for you.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it gives YA for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny, like you said, it's romantic, it's spicy. Like I feel like it has all the, the attributes of a
Like
regular
why expect?
romance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
romance. So honestly, again, I know we talked about this the first time. Not a book that I would have necessarily picked up on my own,
Yes.
but really glad that I read it because I actually enjoyed the book.
Yeah, I agree. And will I read more sports hockey romances? Probably. Look, I'm even wearing a jersey.
Okay, but tell
Showing
me
my
why
jersey.
though. I went to Target and just browsing, just get a little in,
Just
and
looking.
there's football romance, golf romance,
Golf.
obviously hockey, soccer romance, any sport
I want to
romance.
back up. I I'm having a hard time imagining like a golf romance.
Hold on, I think I took a picture of it because I wanted you to
Like
see it.
he drove me in his caddy. I drove him in my caddy.
It's called
I'm gonna look.
uh is it called Fangirl Down?
Okay, let me
Yeah,
look. I'm
Fangirl
looking.
Down by Tessa Bailey.
I do remember you sending that to me. I didn't know that was golf. I
It's a
thought that that
golf
was
romance,
that's
dude.
so funny.
Wait, let me look it up. Fangirl
Did you end up
Down.
getting it or no?
No, I wanted to see what you thought about it because I saw on Kindle and stuff it's a 4.5 star rating.
Okay, I will say Tessa Bailey is very much known for her like writing. So, I mean, if we're
Mm.
trying to dive into sports romances, it might
Okay,
be time.
I'm looking at Goodreads and it's a 4.25 out of 5,469 ratings.
Okay.
And it says, let's see, where is it? Okay, yeah. Wells Whitaker was was once golf's hottest rising star, but lately all he has to show for his promising career is a killer hangover, a collection of broken clubs, and one remaining supporter. No matter how bad he plays, the beautiful sunny redhead is always on the sideline. He curses, she cheers. He scowls, she smiles. But when Wells quits in a blaze of glory and his fangirl finally goes home, he knows he made the greatest mistake of his life. Josephine Doyle believed in the gorgeous, grumpy golfer, even when he did not believe in himself. Yet after he throws in the towel, she begins to wonder if her faith was misplaced. Then a determined Wells shows up at her door with a wild proposer to be his new caddy. Help him
Oh
turn
my
his game
god, I
around.
called it. I called it.
Help him turn his game around and split the prize money. And considering Josephine's professional and personal life is in shambles, she could really use the cash. As they travel together, spending days on the green, nights in neighboring hotel rooms, sparks fly. Before long, they're inseparable. Wells starts winning again, and Josephine is surprised to find a sweet, thoughtful guy underneath the gruff, growly exterior. This hot man wants to this hot man wants to brush her hair, feed her snacks, and take bubble baths together. Is this real life? But Wells is technically her boss, and an athlete falling for his fangirl would be ridiculous, right?
Interesting. I only don't know how I feel about it because now that I've called the caddy romance, um like but you know what? I'm down to dabble. Like, I mean, I don't hate hockey romances after reading this one, and I think I would actually
Mhm.
read more. So I'm down to dabble. We should do one in each sport.
I think so because it says Tessa's Bailey is she has a sports series,
Oh, then we
and
should just
then
read all of them.
yeah, and then this one says this was posted 7 days ago. Okay, this is the best sports romance I've ever read in a really long time.
Like the golf one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So she says
I
it's
will
really good.
say one thing that I feel like I'm gonna see as a theme throughout every hockey romance is like the jersey thing. Like, I don't know if this is a real thing in real life. If any guys listen to our podcast, they're gonna have to confirm for us. But like, why do athletes just go feral for like
For
women wearing
mhm.
their jerseys?
I think it gives like a sense of like
You're
ownership.
mine.
Yeah, like ooh, love
That's
her.
mine.
Loves that's my girl.
That's mine. My name. Might as well get my name tattooed on your back.
F the dragons. Get my name tattooed on you.
Literally. That's what I thought his tattoo was actually gonna be.
Oh yeah, that would have been insane. But at least it was a little bit covered up with it being an actual dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
But that would have been OD a little bit.
But with that being said, that is our last chapter chat for The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. I think
Yes.
we have both concluded that we will probably read another sports romance. Maybe it
Hmm.
won't be hockey this time. Maybe it'll be golf.
Who knows? But
Who knows?
I'm gonna make a promise here on the podcast right now. We'll be better at chapter chats the next time.
Yeah, we'll actually not read the rest of the book next time. Like we'll actually stick. I think our problem is that we're gonna read more chapters at once to
Hmm.
discuss because 5 was a little
It's too
too small.
little.
Hmm.
And yeah, we'll be better about that because we definitely just gave you guys a Spark Notes bit better. But hey, it's okay.
Yeah,
We'll try again. We'll
yeah.
try again.
But we're calling this a chapter chat because we discussed chapters.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, all the rest of them. We already did the first 10.
It's fine. But yes,
But
thank you so much
yeah.
for joining us on our podcast today, listening to The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. Let us know if you've read the book, how you feel about it, and if you liked it. Was it too smutty for you? Too spicy? Let us know in the comments. And we will see you or talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.